these symptoms for 25 years, but has only recently been diagnosed. She's suffering a little bit more because of the region that she's in the US, Portland, Oregon, that there's not a lot of support within that area. She's mentioned that she's got gait issues, complex movement issues, weakness, fatigue, and some balance issues. Her challenge is that standing increases her movement disorders and activity increases her movement disorders and her fatigue. The less I do, the less random movement I have. The movements are exhausting and cause muscle and neck pain. And her question is how do I work toward correcting my gait, and how do I increase my activity without seeing myself going backwards? Which I guess is a fairly common thing, yeah.
That's a great question, Elizabeth. And it's very, very common, fatigue management and management of symptoms with rehab as well. Physios get really excited when we see weak muscles, that we want to over-exercise things a lot. So a great place to probably get started is even lying down and starting some exercises there, starting with really low reps. For example, sometimes I'll give some of my patients 1 or 2 of a certain exercise to do 3 times a day, and that's it to start off with. Because when your endurance is very low to begin with, if we start giving exercises up here, it's like if I was personally to go for a 10-kilometre run. I can't run 10 kilometres, so I'd achieve it, but then I'd crash the next day. So every day I've got to do a little bit more in order to get to that 10-kilometre mark. And so if standing up in itself is quite tricky, I would start with exercises in a lying down position or a seated position, build up that endurance there, and then see if you can work it in a different position there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, low reps is, I think we're in a society of if you don't move it, you lose it, and you hear all those sorts of phrases quite a lot as well. With fatigue management, it is quite a graded progression towards achieving goals. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but it is a quite graded approach.
Yeah, and if people do find that they've gone backwards and feel that things are worse, what's the right approach to recovering from that? Do they stop everything and just rest, or is there a more gradual way to get back to where they were?
Yeah, great question. It's different for everyone. So everyone's probably very used to hearing it can vary from person to person. When patients go through our program, from day one, we talk about relapsing. So there will be a stage where you're feeling good with your symptoms. However, until we've managed what the warning signs and triggers are, unfortunately, you will be prone to having relapses of your symptoms. Some people need a day without their exercises and they can resume slowly the next day. Some people need a bit longer. Some people as well, and this is where our psychology comrades come into play, is when they start to recognise their warning signs that they're having a relapse, that they tap into their mindfulness strategies, any psychosocial activities as well that can help de-escalate some of the warning signs that are going on. But yes, in terms of once the relapse has happened, it definitely varies from patient to patient, but we recommend trying to get moving as soon as you can, but also taking some time out as well.